right.
Victor Morales is here, ladies and gentlemen.
How you doing, Victor? Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Get your headphones right here.
Looking like new money over here, you know what I'm saying? Looking good, feeling good, huh?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's right.
This is our first day
First day?
in Vegas, and we've seen all the media, we've seen the press conference, and it's gonna be an exciting week, that's for sure.
So how does it feel to be on a card of this size, man? Canelo, Kovalev, it don't get much bigger in the sport of boxing when you talk about boxing and Canelo.
Well, I'm not gonna be fighting on this card,
Oh, okay.
but I am gonna be here to support and just see what goes on during the fight week.
He's on the Fantasy Springs card November 23rd, same date as
Gotcha.
Deontay
Gotcha,
Wilder. He'll be
gotcha.
taking on Ramiro Robles is your opponent. What do you know about Mr. Ramiro?
Not much. I just know that he's gonna come to fight Mexican style southpaw. So we're gonna be training for that, and I'm excited.
What is your fighting style for the people out there who may haven't seen you yet?
I like to use my feet, but I also like to punch. So I like to say that I'm a boxer puncher. I can do it both. I can put the pressure, and I can be on my back foot if I need to.
Growing up, who did you look at and say, yeah, that's the guy that I kind of want to model my game after?
A little bit of Andre Ward with a little bit of Oscar De La Hoya, that's for sure.
Nice. How did Andre Ward get into that selection?
He's just been one of my favorite fighters since the beginning. I like the way he presents himself and just the way he boxes, period. He's in there to hit and not get hit, and that's the name of the game.
So you're in the 126-pound division, correct?
Yes.
And how long do you think you'll be able to stay at that weight? Are you looking to campaign and get a title at this weight, or are you just campaigning at this weight to see where your body fills out?
A little bit of both, but I do plan on taking a chance and dropping down to 122. I have a good nutritionist, and I think that I can get down to 122 and capture a title there and then move up.
Nice, nice. That's what a lot of the pros do, man. You start off at a weight, then you realize, you know, if I stay in the gym, I can actually take some of this weight off. But I did notice with your hand gesture the fat wedding ring already.
No, this is my promise ring. It's not a wedding ring.
You promised somebody.
Somebody.
You promised somebody after you get that bag, you gonna get married, man.
Mama, how you feel about that?
No, that's the publicist. So talk to us about this special lady that already has a promise from Victor Morales.
We've been together for 3 years,
Okay.
and you know, being a boxer and having a girl at the same time is not easy at all. It just, you have to find the right one, and for right now, I think that I did find the right one. She supports me 100%.
Does she understand that being a boxer, that you, like, most of your time is going to be, like, by yourself in the gym, training, traveling, fighting?
That she knows exactly that, and she's proved it over the last 3 years. Like I said, we have a lot of time, so time will tell, but I think she's doing pretty good, and I think that we have the right thing going on, that's for sure.
So Vancouver, Washington, right?
Yes.
Talk to us about your upbringing and where you come from. What made you get into boxing? I don't think I've ever heard of another boxer from Vancouver.
Well, I live in Vancouver, but I train out of Portland, Oregon, so I usually just represent Portland. Everyone knows where Portland is, so that's what I represent. But at the end of the day, I represent the whole Pacific Northwest, just because we're such a tight boxing community. My boxing started with my dad, honestly. He walked into the gym, and I followed right behind him. And I was just kind of running around the gym until I was about 7. That's when he signed me up, and that's when everything changed.
So 7 years old, you started your amateur career.
Wow.
How extensive, or for how long did you stay in the amateurs?
I stayed in the amateurs, you know, for 130 fights.
Wow.
Until
That's pretty good.
2016.
2016.
And that's when I made my pro debut.
And what made you decide, like, okay, it's time for me to go pro?
It wasn't just me; it was my dad, my family.
Collectively?
You know, collectively. I had to go through tournaments, and my dad pretty much said once we got to the Golden Gloves, he said, look, you need to prove yourself. You're going to be fighting in the pros. You're going to be fighting grown men that are going to come and rip your head off.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what the Golden Gloves brought. I was a 17-year-old, 18-year-old going into the Golden Gloves with 20-year-old men that were in their prime at the time. And I proved myself.
Sorry about that. So obviously, a few years ago, I got to see you spar. I think it was like 15 or 2016 in the Sean Porter gym.
Yes, sir.
What brought you to Vegas for that? And do you just travel for sparring, or was that just like something you're in town, you got it in?
Well, me and Sean, we're super close friends, and at the time we were working with them. we were working with them. They wanted to get me out, put my face out there and get some sparring done. So they had a guy that they were working with too, and we went down there and got some sparring with them. And that must be the stuff you guys saw.
Yeah.
But we're
No, I
super close
was
friends.
actually there.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. We went in there. He had someone for me to work with, so we went in there and worked.
Yeah.
And I traveled to LA. I traveled to Vegas to get some sparring. There's not much sparring for me, top quality where I live. So that's why I come down here to train.
That's what I was gonna say. You have a tight knit community up there because it's sort of like not too much, right? Not too much sparring, good sparring to get, or maybe just not enough gyms.
What's the biggest thing that you're working on in sparring, like right now? Like, are you trying to work on head movement, speed, slipping? Like, what are you trying to work on in sparring right now?
Every time we get into the ring and go for sparring, we try to figure out something new or fix something that we need to fix. So every day there's something different. Sometimes it's the head movement, the defense. Sometimes it's, hey, take a step back and pop, right? Sometimes it's, hey, I want you to press forward with the jabs, right? There's always something different to learn and something to excel at in sparring.
And how do you like the professional style compared to the amateur? Was the transition hard for you? In order to really get a feel for how the pros fight.
There was a little bit of a transition difference, but I broke my hand in my first fight, so that kind of changed a lot of things. So it had me develop slowly. For the first 6 fights, I fought with broken hands, sore hands. Wow. Strained hands, everything, because I was trying to heal my hands from my first fight. But the transition, everyone has a transition. Look what happened to Lomachenko. He went for a world title his second fight, and it didn't turn out the way he wanted to. There's always a transition.
Don't tell ESPN that because they got him 14-0.
Yeah, they erased that. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, we saw that on the
They
on the
erased it on their
broadcast.
telecast. He's 14-0.
With them.
So, Victor, man, how well do you know Devin Haney? Since you got some sparring in Vegas, did you ever share the ring with Haney?
I don't know if we ever shared the ring together. I know that we're always in different weight classes. So when I won a gold, international gold in the Dominican Republic, he also did. We were the only 2 on our team that year that won gold medals that year on our team. We're close friends, good friends. They have another 126-pounder, I think, and hopefully we get some work with them before we leave.
Looking at the 126 division, who is the clear-cut best guy in the division right now, excluding yourself?
There's a lot of people. I know Shakur just fought for a world title. He looked like he always does, right? He has good defense. He can manipulate distance. Going forward, he does have to face some Leo Santa Cruz, some Gary Russells, and it'll be interesting to see if he can pull those ones off. He doesn't hit very hard from my experiences, and I know that Gary Russell's quick and he hits pretty hard, so that should be an interesting one because I did see someone post that unification would be interesting.
So you have sparred with Gary Russell to feel the power, or
No,
you
it's
just
Shakur.
outside looking in?
Shakur.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just trying to figure out
Getting
where
a
his
feel for-
gauge is coming from, if he's sparred with both or not. But I love that you're talking unification, man. We're getting away from things like that now because of these franchise titles and regular titles. What is your position? Are you looking at Gervonta Davis when he faces Yuriorkis Gamboa? Would he be 3 division, 2nd division, whatever division it is for him? Would you consider him a real champion, or how do you look at the regulars?
You know what? This whole title thing, it's really changed, and now Devin Haney is a world titleist. He didn't have to fight. So this whole
No, you're right.
I
You're
mean,
right.
how you put it, though, was just like, wow, that is right. He didn't even have to fight.
It's a lot of question marks.
There's a
coming
lot of
from the
question
pod-
marks.
I mean,
for
the
me.
other guy didn't have to even defend it, and he got elevated to
True.
franchise
That's true,
status.
true.
Like, he never defended it, and that's
Right.
his first WBC he's ever fought for.
And that's true. So it all kind of confuses me, honestly. The regular champion, gold champion, silver champion, franchise champion. I mean, they're
Interim,
Interim.
intercontinental,
right. So
Regular.
Latino.
Right.
There's so many different versions.
there's so many different versions, and I'm just gonna stay in my lane. I'm gonna go and fight for the titles that I feel are gonna take me to the top.
Okay. So, obviously, 122 is the division you want to drop back down to. Do you have good contacts in your team to get you some sparring with a guy like Guillermo Rigondeaux?
We have connections with everybody, honestly.
Perfect.
I know that I've been in talks to spar with people like Jojo Diaz, and
Okay.
I mean, I've sparred with Leo Santa Cruz myself.
Okay.
I've sparred with a lot of different people, and it just takes the right person to just put me in that ring. And like I said, when I come to LA, I say, give me the baddest guy here. I don't go and pick my sparring. My dad doesn't pick any of my sparring either. We go in and we want to spar. We want to, test ourselves
Get that
against
work.
the best.
Speaking of the baddest guy, now after this WBSS tournament, there is going to be a guy by the name of Inoue moving up to 122. Like, it's pretty much already know. He's been getting guys up out of here. Have you ever envisioned or seen yourself kind of facing that guy if you want to go back down to 122? Because he's probably going to have majority of those belts when he get to 122.
Right.
Or the guy from Top Rank, what's his name? Big Dog Bayness?
Navarrete?
Navarrete, 122. He's a big guy for the weight, and he's dangerous too. So how do you see yourself matching up with those two guys?
Well, I know that a lot of those guys, they hit hard, and they all like to come forward. I know that Inoue is very quick on his feet, and it shows, and he's one of the pound-for-pound best from what I've heard. So it'll be interesting. I have a high boxing IQ, so I feel like either way I could figure out how to get it done. You give me 2 months in the training camp, and I'll figure out how to get it done, honestly.
Are you newly signed to Golden Boy?
Yes.
So you only had one fight under them, right?
I haven't had one fight yet under them yet. This will be my first one, November
The Fantasy
2nd.
Springs, okay.
Or
I
November
figured
23rd.
I figured the Fantasy Springs would have been a Golden Boy fight. That's one of their venues. Victor, unfortunately, we are pressed for time. We got Kathy Duval behind you, but we're here all day and all tomorrow, brother. You're more than welcome to sit back down and chop it up.
Anytime,
We
man.
could talk some boxing outside of yourself just to keep you entertained.
Perfect.
man,
Let's
pleasure,
do it.
man. Thank you.
Thank you,
for
brother.
having
Take
me.
it easy. Appreciate the
If you
time.
enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.